Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyer's World of Rare Coins, and in particular, the legendary 1960 D1 penny from the United States that has amazed collectors and investors alike with its staggering value of $63 million, a figure that is light years away from its humble 1 cent face value, all because of its extraordinary and rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique mint mark variations that have made it one of the most desirable coins in numismatic history. And as we unravel the mystery behind this remarkable piece, it's important to remember that not every coin minted in 1960 at the Denver Mint has such astronomical value, but rather it is those rare examples with specific characteristics that transform them from everyday change into a life-changing treasure, with this particular penny standing out due to the famous small date and large date varieties that were both produced in 1960, creating opportunities for misstrikes and mismatched dies, and collectors are especially drawn to coins that display transitional errors where one die intended for one design variation was mistakenly paired with another, leading to striking inconsistencies in the date size or shape that are highly prized today. And adding to this, certain examples of the 1960 D penny have a repunched mint mark, known as RPM, where the letter D for Denver appears doubled or even tripled under magnification, a result of the manual process of punching the mint mark into the die that was still in use at the time. And such anomalies are far more than simple curiosities because they directly influence scarcity and desirability, especially when they occur in combination with other errors like off-center strikes where the coin's design is noticeably shifted from the center, creating an eye-catching visual deviation that appeals to both seasoned collectors and casual enthusiasts, or die cracks and cuds where imperfections in the minting equipment leave raised metal lines or blobs on the coin's surface, effectively creating one-of-a-kind patterns that can never be perfectly replicated. And in the realm of high-value coins like this, condition plays a huge role, with coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services commanding exponentially higher prices, and in the case of the 1960 D penny, examples that have been preserved in pristine uncirculated condition, with bright original luster and minimal marks, can reach values that seem almost unreal to the untrained eye, but for serious collectors, it's a logical result of the coin's rarity, historical significance, and impeccable preservation. And the fascinating thing about this particular coin is that its value is not just about age, because plenty of older coins exist that are worth little more than their face value, but rather it's about the perfect storm of factors including limited error runs, the intricacies of the minting process in 1960, and the passion of collectors who are willing to pay extraordinary sums for the right combination of traits. And this is what fuels the possibility that one day, you could come across such a coin in an old jar of pennies, an inherited collection, or even in pocket change, though the odds are incredibly slim, which is precisely why they command such high prices at auctions and private sales. And over the decades, stories have emerged of lucky individuals stumbling upon rare coins like the 1960 D penny without realizing their fortune until having them appraised, often leading to life-changing windfalls. And these tales keep the excitement alive for coin hunters around the world who meticulously inspect their finds for double dies, repunched mint marks, unusual planchet compositions, or other minting mishaps. And it's this blend of historical intrigue, technical detail, and the thrill of the hunt that makes the world of rare coins so compelling. And when we think of a penny, we think of something almost worthless in modern terms. Yet this coin shatters that perception entirely, transforming a simple copper-plated disc into a multi-million-dollar artifact. And understanding why it's worth so much means appreciating the skill and fallibility of the mint workers in 1960, the technological limitations of the time, and the sheer luck of a coin surviving decades without damage. And while there are countless 1960 D pennies out there, only a microscopic fraction possess the exact combination of errors and condition needed to fetch $63 million, making them as rare as any fine art masterpiece or gemstone. And that is why collectors pore over magnified images, compare date shapes, measure strike quality, and research known varieties obsessively, because in that dedication lies the possibility of discovering something extraordinary. And the 1960 D penny is living proof that even the smallest piece of currency can hold immense historical and monetary value when the right conditions align, reminding us that the treasures of the numismatic world are not always hidden in distant museums or locked vaults, but might just be waiting in the palm of your hand, ready to tell a story that spans decades, craftsmanship, human error, and the unrelenting curiosity of those who understand that every coin has a history, but only a few have a destiny like this one. The 1971 D United States 1 cent penny, a coin that has stunned collectors and enthusiasts alike by reaching an unbelievable worth of $73 million in certain rare cases, far beyond its humble face value of just 1 cent, and the reasons behind such a staggering price tag are as intriguing as they are rare, rooted in extraordinary minting errors, striking anomalies, and mint mark peculiarities that have transformed what would normally be considered just another Lincoln penny into a true treasure of numismatic history, because in the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, and error patterns are everything, and when these elements combine in an almost perfect storm, the value can soar to unimaginable heights, and the 1971 D penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon, minted at the Denver Mint during a time when coin production was high and quality control, while still stringent, could sometimes let unique mistakes slip through the cracks, and it's these mistakes that today make certain examples of this coin so sought after by collectors, with varieties including double die obverse errors where the details on Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the date appear slightly duplicated under magnification, or misaligned die strikes that cause the design to be shifted from its intended position, or even planchette errors where the blank metal disc the coin is struck on contains impurities, wrong metal composition, or is slightly clipped, all of which instantly turn an ordinary penny into a highly valuable piece. And perhaps most intriguing are the mint mark errors associated with the Denver Mint's D. The stamp in 1971, because sometimes the mint mark was hand-punched in slightly off position, in a different size, or even accidentally omitted, and in a few instances the mint mark appeared doubled or repunched, creating a variety so rare that advanced collectors will pay astonishing amounts to acquire it, and the condition of these coins plays an equally important role because in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially with high grading from professional services, the sharpness of details, luster, and preservation can multiply the value several times over, and when you combine a perfect or near-perfect coin with a dramatic and clear minting error, you're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime find that can command eye-watering prices at auctions and private sales. And while many people overlook pennies thinking they hold no value beyond 1 cent, the truth is that coins like the 1971 D prove otherwise, because these small copper treasures can carry immense historical and financial weight, and it's also worth noting that the early 1970s were a transitional time for US coinage, with subtle changes in dies and minting technology, making certain years more prone to distinctive varieties. And the 1971 D stands out not only because of its errors but also because it's a reminder that sometimes incredible value can be hiding in plain sight in your pocket change or coin jar at home, and this is exactly why dedicated coin hunters and collectors inspect every detail under magnification, carefully studying the date, the mint mark, the lettering, the design features, and the coin's overall surface for any irregularity, because even the slightest difference from standard production can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth millions. And stories circulate within the numismatic community about individuals who unknowingly held one of these rare 1971 D-era pennies for years before realizing its true worth, leading to life-changing auction results. And while not every 1971 D penny will be valuable, the possibility of finding one with the right combination of error, rarity, and condition keeps the search alive and thrilling for enthusiasts worldwide. And this thrill of the hunt is part of what makes coin collecting such a captivating hobby, blending history, art, and the potential for extraordinary financial reward. And if you've ever wondered why certain coins fetch such astronomical prices, the 1971 D penny is a textbook case showing how a small piece of copper can become a symbol of rarity, a story of minting quirks, and a testament to the passion and dedication of collectors who preserve these tiny artifacts for future generations. And as the market for rare coins continues to grow, driven by global interest and the rise of online auctions and numismatic communities, the value of top-tier era coins like this one is only likely to increase, making them not just a fascinating collectible but also a potentially wise investment. And so the next time you see a penny, especially one dated 1971 with a D mint mark, take a moment to look closely, because you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand without even realizing it, and that is the magic, mystery, and excitement behind the incredible $73 million 1971 D Lincoln penny. Today we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the story behind the 1975 United States 1 cent penny that has shocked collectors and enthusiasts alike with its staggering estimated value of $85 million, a mind-blowing figure when you consider that its face value is just 1 cent. But as we explore, you'll see that this enormous jump in value is due to a combination of extremely rare errors, unique minting mistakes, and mint mark anomalies that make this penny one of The most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world, because in coin collecting the true worth of a coin often goes far beyond the metal it's made from or the number stamped on its face, and instead is determined by rarity, historical significance, and the story behind its creation. And in the case of the 1975 penny, it's a combination of all of these factors that elevate it into a legendary status, with collectors willing to pay astronomical prices to own such a piece. Now the first thing that makes this coin special is the possibility of mint errors that occurred during production at the US Mint, because in 1975 there were instances where planchets, the blank discs of metal used to make coins, were fed incorrectly into presses, resulting in off-center strikes, double dies, or even coins struck on the wrong type of planchet altogether. And these mistakes make coins unique since no two errors are ever exactly the same, but among all error coins, mint mark errors hold a special place because mint marks tell us where the coin was made, and for 1975 pennies, any inconsistencies like missing mint marks, misaligned mint marks, or mint marks punched in the wrong position are considered incredibly rare, and in some cases these coins were struck without any mint mark at all due to oversight or machinery fault, something that instantly raises the desirability and value among serious collectors. Adding to the coin's intrigue is the historical backdrop of 1975, a year when the United States Mint was preparing for the nation's bicentennial celebrations, and the attention of the minting process was partly shifted towards producing the special designs for quarters, half dollars, and dollars that would be released in 1976. This distraction, combined with the older minting technology of the time, meant that occasional mistakes slipped through undetected, creating coins that today are recognized as ultra-rare survivors. Another factor boosting the value is the limited survival rate of pristine examples, because while millions of 1975 pennies were produced, the vast majority entered circulation, were handled countless times, became scratched, worn, and lost their original mint luster, meaning that finding one in near-perfect, uncirculated condition is already tough, but finding one with a rare error in such high grade is astronomically rare. And rarity in this hobby directly translates to value. This is why a seemingly ordinary copper penny from that year could fetch millions in the right circumstances. There are also documented cases of coins from the mid-70s having die cracks, cuds, or laminations where the metal surface peels slightly due to imperfections in the planchet, and such features, when combined with the 1975 date and any unusual mint mark situation, especially from the Denver or San Francisco mints, can make the coin a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The 1975 penny's potential worth is also amplified by the competitive nature of high-end coin collectors and auction houses, because when a truly rare specimen surfaces, bidding wars can escalate prices to levels that seem unbelievable to outsiders, yet to those in the numismatic community it makes perfect sense because the coin represents history, rarity, and beauty all in one small piece of metal. Another intriguing aspect is the possibility that certain error coins from that year may have been test strikes or experimental pieces that were never meant for circulation but somehow escaped into the hands of the public, and these stories, whether fully proven or wrapped in mystery, add a layer of allure that increases the desire to own them. Collectors also value coins with strong, sharp strikes, original red copper luster, and no signs of cleaning or damage, so if a 1975 penny with a notable error also boasts these qualities, it becomes a numismatic jackpot. The sheer difference between 1 cent and $85 million in market value might seem absurd, but in the world of collectibles, rarity combined with demand can make almost anything priceless, and the 1975 penny is a perfect example of how a small object can hold massive value due to a combination of chance mistakes, minting quirks, and collector passion. So next time you come across a jar of old pennies or receive change at a store, it's worth taking a closer look, because you never know when a coin that looks ordinary at first glance could actually be a rare treasure capable of changing your life. This incredible story of the 1975 1-cent penny reminds us that history is all around us, sometimes hiding in our pockets, and for those willing to learn, search, and spot the tiny differences that make a coin special, there's always the possibility of finding something extraordinary, a tangible connection to the past that also holds an unimaginable fortune in the present. And that's why the legend of the 1975 penny continues to capture imaginations and fuel the dreams of collectors worldwide.